You're listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This special edition 1 episode is sponsored by Cisco, taking your business a level up. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your guest host today, Logan Lyles with Sweetfish Medium. We're interviewing live today at the Ingram Micro ONE event. Our guest today for this episode is Mike Brooks. Mike is the Distribution Business Development Manager of Collaboration at Cisco. Mike, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Logan. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to talk to you. So we're going to be talking about, customers really prefer options and love flexibility. At least I do. So can you tell us a little bit about why you think having a flexible plan that allows everything that you need is so crucial in this day and age?
Absolutely, right. And it's a great question, a good segue, right? So what this comes down to is it's all about simplicity, right? What partners are really looking for is a really easy button way to be able to solve or sell a complete solution, right? And in this particular case, Cisco's Collaboration Flex Plan, which we're going to refer to later on in the cast here, really allows the partner to do that, right? It gives them the venue to be able to sell a complete solution and solve for those business outcomes that partners are looking for in an easy fashion, and it's easy to manage as well.
Yeah. And this plan can really help create a simple transition to the cloud, which I know a lot of people are trying to make that transition, right? So what are some of the common things that businesses don't have on the cloud yet and why they should be thinking about those?
It's a great question, right? So as we start to move into the cloud itself, right, and our partners and Ingram Micro and Cisco itself are all on the same journey, right? We're on this transition to the cloud, right? And we're looking to make monthly reoccurring revenue and profitability here, right? So some of the things that partners are looking for, especially on the Cisco side, is we're looking to move our meetings to the cloud, calling to the cloud, contact center to the cloud, right? If you really think about it, the options are endless, right? You can go into other architectures as well, right? You can step into the security space, the data center space, right? But we're here to focus on the collaboration. It's that meetings, calling, and that contact center space that we're looking to move this flex plan into.
Yeah, so let's dig in a little bit more. Can you tell us about the Cisco Collaboration Flex Plan and some of the key advantages there?
Oh, absolutely, right? So the Flex Plan, like I said, on my end, is the easy button for everything collaboration, right? If I'm a partner that's used to selling on-premise collaboration, right, the management of some things was actually pretty difficult to do, right? What was I selling? Was I selling meetings? Was I selling calling? Was I selling contact center? And every single one of those portions was a different management portal as well, right? Under the Flex Plan, right, it allows us to sell that complete solution, meeting, calling, contact center, all under one subscription, and manage it from a central portal, right? So now what this obviously does on our end is create a better atmosphere for the IT manager to deploy those sources, right, or those resources, and actually add new users, take users away if the end customer decides to step down a little bit, add video into the mix, add additional phones into the mix. So the opportunities here from a Flex Plan are endless, but it's all about that ease of management and that monthly reoccurring revenue model and that OpEx versus CapEx conversation.
Yeah, and it makes for those changes to be more seamless, right, across all three areas, whether that's adding users, adding functionality, moving back functionality.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And this is similar to everything that we're already kind of doing, right? How many people have a Netflix subscription? How many people have a new Disney Plus subscription, right?
Right, all of just the first few days.
Exactly, right? What do you got, like 10 million subscribers in first day, right? Amazing, right? And that kind of allows us to do that. I'd like to think of the Flex Plan as like the modern day collaboration cable solution, right? I can add HBO, I can add Cinemax, I can add Showtime, and I don't want to watch it anymore. Game of Thrones is over, I take out HBO. Same thing in this model here. I start off with calling on-prem, and I move the meetings into the cloud. Eventually I'll have that nice transition from on-prem calling to cloud-based calling, and be able to do that inside that subscription without any interruption of service. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Which of those three main components do you see most people are moving to the cloud first?
Great question, right? So right now the kind of focus is on meetings, right? We're really starting to see a lot of the meetings move into the cloud. Not everybody's ready to move their calling into the cloud, right? And I don't blame them. It's kind of hard to let go of that. It's been around for so many years, right? And you've got an IT staff that's been managing it, and they're really great at it, right? And what do they do when you move it to the cloud, right? I don't need 3 guys anymore. I need 1, right? So eventually, like I said, it's all meetings. But eventually it'll be meeting and calling, and then we start to add the contact center into place as well, and then some of the video. But everything right now has been strictly based around meetings.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Anything else? You mentioned some really great dynamics for people to be thinking about, in the changes that these transitions to the cloud, kind of the ripple effects. Anything else you want to add there, Mike?
I'm trying to think of how you worded that question, right, to take the next step here. So, It's an interesting question, right? Because there's a lot of things that partners have to take into consideration when moving into a subscription-based model.
Yeah.
Right? And monthly reoccurring revenue model. And it's not so much just the end customer that's making that decision, but it's also the partner, right? So the partner's helping the end customer make the decision. Are they ready to make that transition to the cloud, right? Yeah. How many users are they going to have in a meeting? Is meetings in the cloud what you're truly looking for? How many minutes per month are you going to look for? And then the calling portion of things is really, the next phase of the opportunity, and then contact center is the next phase, right? This phased approach is something new to our partners, right? Yeah. Before we would sell everything all up front, the partner would pay for it, and they deploy it and hopefully adopt it the way that they needed to. In this particular model here, the partner actually owns the subscription and the adoption of it a little bit more, and actually bills our end customers on a monthly basis or an annual basis or a prepaid basis. So the options are limited here. It's just a matter of making sure that the partner understands the end customer's business and the business outcome solution that they're looking to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings to mind there's some change management that has to happen on all fronts here.
Absolutely.
So I love what you're talking about here, Mike. If people listening to this want to learn more or connect with you on this topic, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Oh, absolutely, right. So Cisco's got a great page called the Sales Connect page, right? And you'll have that information on the recording here as well. But you could also go out to cisco.com/go/collaboration flex plan. Out on that site in general is everything you would want to know about the flex plan. There's battle cards, there's cheat sheets, competitive situations that you get into, use case scenarios, everything you could ask for, right? And then, of course, obviously Ingram Micro being here, every single one of the Ingram employees is ready to go. And then they also have their transformation center as well, which you can go in there and learn more about the flex plan as well.
I love it. Thanks so much for all those resources, Mike. So one last question we love to ask our guests. What are some of the big things that you see coming in technology over the next year or so?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Right?
Interesting, right? So from my standpoint, and I'll look at this personally, not so much as a Cisco side, right? So from a personally side of the house, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with the cognitive portion of things, right? So what is the new oil, so to say, right? It's data, right? There's boatloads of data that's sitting out here, and we're not quite sure what to do with it all. Right? So it's really finding out what's going to happen with that data. For example, we have a really good bit of information called Insights, and it's inside our Flex Plan offer under the WebEx meeting portion. Whereas how many times have we gone into a meeting, like for, say, the example, this one, if it was on a WebEx, I don't know much about you, Logan, right? But I want to find out a little bit more about you. Once we join the meeting, there's a little icon card that pops up on the left side of your name, and I can click on that and I can find out more about you, like your employee, how long you've been there. I can find out some of your interests from your LinkedIn page and different things about you, right? And if you wanted to share Facebook information, as long as your IT manager allowed us to do that, we'd be able to see that information as well, right? Kind of Big Brother-ish, but cool at the same time. So I'm really excited about those cognitive collaboration, and then personally on the back end, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen on the AR side of things. The augmented reality for WebEx meetings, the ability for us to actually throw in a 3D diagram and spin it around. It kind of brings me back to the movie Minority Report. Remember where they would take the screen down and pull it and flip it around? And then IoT, of course, right? IoT is coming into play here as well. So opportunities are endless, but those are the main three that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you named all of those. There's things that we see, impacting business, impacting our personal lives in a lot of different ways. So I really appreciate you taking time and sharing some knowledge with us today, Mike.
No, thank you. I was really excited to be here, and it's just awesome. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, if you like this episode or if you have a question, you can join the discussion on Twitter at Ingram Tech Soul with the hashtag B2B Tech Talk. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening today. We encourage you to subscribe to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro in Apple Podcasts or wherever you do your listening.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. This special edition 1 episode is sponsored by Cisco. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production by Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To not miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast player.